Dear students, today's class is called Expressing Likes and Dislikes. I am Professor Juan Salas, and I invite you to join me in this fascinating topic. Let's begin. Welcome to this class, whose topic is of great importance to you, as it will provide you with the necessary information to express everything you are passionate about and everything that undoubtedly bothers you. Please keep in mind that you must take notes and analyze the examples provided in order to complete the final activity. We will begin this class by mentioning its objective, which is for you to acquire the ability to participate in an informal conversation by correctly expressing your preferences and opinions. In this class, we will learn how to express our likes and dislikes. There are two ways to do this, so you will recognize the difference between the two. Later, we will review the rules for using ing in verbs and dive into the formation of positive, negative, and interrogative sentences. The verbs we use to express what we like are like, love, and prefer. On the other hand, we have the verb hate to express things we dislike. All of these verbs can be followed by to plus an infinitive verb or a verb ending in ing. For example, I hate to travel by plane. I love going to the park. I prefer cooking in my house. I prefer cooking in my house than eating in a restaurant. He prefers to wear sunglasses. But what is the difference between using the two forms? It should be noted that in American English, it is more common to use to plus an infinitive verb. We use the verb ending in ing when we want to emphasize the action or experience. For example, I like making jam. On the other hand, we use the to plus an infinitive verb to emphasize the result of the action or express habits or preferences. For example, I like to make jam every year. Now, taking into account all of the prior knowledge that we have acquired, we'll move on to the rules for converting a verb to an ing ending. First, we add ing to most verbs. For infinitive verbs ending in e, we must remove the e and add ing. For verbs ending in a vowel plus a consonant, we must double the consonant and add ing. It is important not to double the x or the w of verbs in this ending. Now we'll explain the three ways to expressing something we like in a positive sentence. First corresponds to a noun. Its structure will be subject plus verb like, love or hate, plus a noun. For example, I like cookies. For number two, corresponds to subject structure plus the verb like, love, hate, or prefer plus the verb ending in ing. For example, she likes swimming. Guys, be very careful with the third person, as they must respect the rule of the simple present. And finally, the third form corresponds to the structure of the subject plus the verb like, love, hate, or prefer, plus to plus the infinitive verb. For example, they like to eat cake. Now we will work with the negative form sentences. To do this, we'll use the auxiliary pronouns doesn't for third person and don't for the rest of the pronouns. In the first sentence, we will add our negative auxiliary pronoun after the subject. For example, I don't like cookies. In the second sentence, we will use doesn't since we're referring to a third person, and the verb after it is retained naturally. For example, she doesn't like swimming. And finally, in the third sentence, we will use don't after the subject. Example, they don't like to eat cake. For our interrogative form, we will use the auxiliaries do or does, and depending on the pronoun we are referring to, they will go at the beginning of our sentence, preserving the verbs like, hate, etc. as usual. For example, do you like cookies? Does she like swimming? Do they like to eat cake? Well, dear students, I hope that this topic has been perfectly clear. If not, I invite you to send me your questions through the WhatsApp group so I can answer them during our in-person class. I ask that you review your notes, and once you feel confident, access the highlighted link to answer the questionnaire. Here you will find a bibliographic reference that you can consult on your own if you have any questions. Thank you very much for your attention, and see you next time.